Okay, second, discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Chief's report.
Okay, another items, Commissioners, a few items. Just a hiring update. We're in the process of filling one more, that's a vacant patrol officer position with a target start date in January, sometime in January of 16. And also we are trying to fill at least one part-time dispatcher position at this time. I'll address some of the issues that Mr. Russo brought up. We are looking right now to first see what kind of applications we get in on certified officers. We have quite a few certified officers interested, both young and older, I should say. But we have a number that are coming off of other departments for about 2 years on. So ideally we'd like to get a younger certified officer in, but we're going to see what the list of candidates is before we consider doing an outside testing process.
Sure.
There's a lot of benefits. There's pros and cons either way you go, but it's definitely a major cost savings to bring on a certified officer. Right. The testing process, the training, and the amount of time it takes for somebody to come into the road. So
sure.
I think so far we've been extremely fortunate with who we've hired and the quality of officers that we've achieved.
Yep.
Second item is dispatcher Diane Potemski is retiring. Last day right now is November 6th after 24 years of service. And we wish you well while we see that event. If there is a function at the PD, I'll get something out to you.
Please.
For well wishes. Training update. Currently right now they're in the process of training us and certifying operating and carrying of the patrol rifles. About half the department has finished that, or 3/4. I believe next week is the last group going through. And low light and pistol qualifications are already scheduled for November and December, utilizing the DOC indoor range. It's an inside range right in Suffield at the facility. So you can lower the lights, you can go blackout, you can go with strobe lights, you can do all that kind of training, which is extremely important. Which we've only started last year, so definitely something we want to do more and more of, because most police shootings occur at night under low light, stress type position. So the other update is just so you're aware, Lieutenant Cliff Smith is at Quantico with the FBI National Academy currently. Everything's going well, and he's got a projected graduation date of December 11th. Very prestigious position to get. It's difficult to get. There's only 3 spots for this class in the entire state. And we had a petition go through. He had actually kind of changed the format, go through an oral board process, and really dictate why the department was in need of a position like that. So we're very lucky to get that. And I just want to add that also this year is a heavy, what we call recert year. 12 officers have to go to recert. That's a full week training class, and then they go every 3 years type of cycle. So, just for training purposes. Last item is I just wanted to bring up was the DUI stats. I just got this from the state last week. Windsor locks, the officers have always been very proactive in DUI, and it really came out again when they brought out the stats just about a week ago. There's been a 70% increase from 2012 to 2014 stats. For a department this size, the numbers that they're doing, extremely good.
Very good.
So we're constantly being recognized by the Department of Transportation for that. Right. One other thing I'd like to add that isn't on the list, I finally got the numbers from finance, and for the fiscal year 14-15, it looks like our budget surplus for the year was $149,000 in the department, so we ended in a surplus. Before everybody gets a little too excited, 122 of that was salary for open positions and gas surplus, because the price of gas went down dramatically. So we saved $20,000 in the budget on gasoline, which in the new budget has been cut $20,000. So with all the positions being filled and the gas being done, hopefully at that same price it'll last for the year, we'll be very close in the budget. But for last year, it's looking like 149 and some change as the excess.
That's good too.
Going on to the budget spreadsheet, still relatively early in the year. The one thing that you'll see that sticks out is the overtime for dispatchers. Similar to last year, we wound up transferring $17,000 into that line because of excess. But we've had 2 dispatchers that have had some serious illness issues, and 2 dispatchers are 50% of the workforce. So there's a requirement to fill positions on overtime by dispatchers, and if not, we don't have enough officers on the shift, then we have to hire officers on overtime. So it's a requirement to have somebody in there, obviously. Again, we talked about it last year, but it's getting to the point where that's no longer a one-person position, especially during peak hours. And there's a lot more regulations coming down from the state level that we're gonna have to address by 2017, that officers are not going to be able just to arbitrarily go in there even to do release. So if everything's passed so far, we'll know more early in the spring, but that could be a major issue for us to deal with. Not having 2 dispatchers, we can't even take a break. So we'll have to deal with that, but it's still a little early, but just as a warning.
Have any questions on the budget?
Any idea out of the overtime patrol, how much of that is towards recovered dispatch?
I do not know. I couldn't give you that number right now.
All right, next, can we get a breakdown of that?
I can get a number, well, it comes out of dispatch line. Yeah.
Doesn't come out of this.
So everything out of patrol, dispatch
Everything out of
comes out of that
dispatch comes out of
dispatch line.
dispatch?
Yeah.
So, that's correct.
All right, so we can get a breakdown of dispatch then, right?
We can get a breakdown of dispatch, exactly.
Yeah, how much went to
who's-
patrol as opposed to?
How much goes to,
Yep, okay.
remember, 2 budgets ago, or last budget, we increased the number of part-timers.
Right.
Try to go to 3, with the intent, or the hopeful intent, to start using part-timers to get them in. It's been successful in training people, but the problem with part-timers, is you get people with limited schedule and a lot of scheduling conflicts. And a lot of these things happen last minute, so lots of times you can't get a part-timer, even though it's cheaper, because it's straight time. But that's the first thing we try to do on is sick time,
Let's get the part-time.
get the part-timers. So we go through a process.
Yeah.
And Sharon's quite familiar with it, because she does part of the scheduling, so.
Yeah.
It's quite a process to fill that. We're always trying to do it with the least, fiscal impact.
Right.
But yeah, we can get that breakdown for sure.
New business, we have nothing here, does anybody wanna add anything to it? Same with old business. All right, we go to public input, agenda items only.
I'll let him go first.
Mark?
Norm, 115 Bel Air. So, Chief, you were allowed, I guess, in June to be able to make budget transfers amongst your line items and such like that. Do you let these folks know about those transfers after they've happened?
The commission granted me the authority to do that. I have copies, they went to the chairman, I don't know if they went out from there.
So you don't discuss it formally after it's happened to let people know that
We
we got
haven't
too
had a
much of.
meeting.
I realize that, but I guess it's not on the minutes, so it wouldn't have happened anyhow, or it's just.
Unless
Well, we talked over the phone.
Yeah,
Right. We
it's not
talked over
secret,
the phone.
as you're asking. but the
Yeah,
No, I'm
chairman
not
does.
asking for secret, I'm just wondering if the other 3 or 4 members of the board actually had.
Probably not, because we haven't had a meeting, so.
Thanks.
Michael?
Under communications, I have a question. Chief, as you're aware, you just submitted a large number of communications to Peter Tomalonis, and I was shown a couple of those communications that were coming from the past chairman of the police commission to you, and some of them are still coming. And I'm curious why the chairman, or past chairman, the past chairman speaks about citizens of the town of Windsor Locks the way that he does. And even when he was in office, he speaks the way that he did regarding citizens when he sits in a chair and he represents the town of Windsor Locks, and he goes and refers to us as instigators, terrorists, calls me a serial killer. And in one of the last letters that you got, that it was shown to me as early as April of 2015, he refers to me as something else, and then he's talking about the three of us are being screwed up because we swam in the canal's water. Isn't there some way that this commission can shut his mouth? You know, he's acting as a town official. When he was sitting at that table making these comments, doesn't he realize that he represents the town of Windsor Locks? And when he's making these comments, he is opening the door for litigation. And now that I've got the audio CD, the proof that I didn't do what I had been accused of all along, he has snowballed what could have been a small issue into such a giant issue by making accusations and comments about me. And the comment that he made as a police commissioner at the selectmen's meeting about me being a terrorist, and now it's on the internet? How do I ever recover from something like that?
Okay, Michael.
That's part of a communication,
These are agenda items.
That is an agenda item, sir. It's a communication that went to the chief, and the chief gave it.
Not on this. It's not on this agenda. That's enough. I hear what you're saying. You got a complaint with the past chairman, but it's not on this agenda. That's enough. Anyone else?
For the chief, under personnel, are we moving forward, chief, with body cams for the officers?
Not currently. We're looking into it and pricing it. I would probably say within a year, or probably with this budget coming up, that could probably be something introduced to that. It'll be coming to the commission, obviously, prior to that. It's coming. It's a matter of time. It's a matter
Yeah,
of when,
I see that the trend is to equip with body cams. The reason I ask, I think the outcome of an investigation that happened 5 years ago, the Henry Dang investigation, would have been much different.
Anything? Commissioners' comments? No? No. Towards some of your comments, the reason there were no meetings is we lost 2 members. We were down to 4, and we on several occasions tried to have meetings and couldn't get the quorum for various reasons, either personal or mostly personal. I couldn't tell you why, but members couldn't make it, so we didn't have any meetings. That's why we haven't had any meetings up till this one. And